5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right, welcome back, everybody. Right, today we're going to talk about YouTube and our story. So over the past 3 years, we've been growing our YouTube channel. Crazily now, we're nearly at 600k on the main channel, which is mental, and 120k on the second channel. It's not been easy, and we have some mad stories along the way. However, it has changed our lives in an amazing and crazy good way.
Absolutely.
That's for certain. So today we're going to take you through the story of how YouTube has changed our lives.
And hasn't it?
So I think we start at the beginning like all good books. Once upon a time, there was a family of 3.
Yep.
Jane, Mark and Senna. And we were still extremely busy, weren't we?
Very.
Nothing changed. I was spending a lot of time racing buggies, and we travelled all over the world racing those, which was amazing fun. But somehow we've managed to do a curveball, and now
It's funny, isn't it? Because if anybody had said to you back then, like, where do you see yourself going in the next 4 or 5 years?
But I remember seeing people walking through airports with GoPros and stuff like that, like filming themselves, and I used to think, you look all right. But obviously, like, it's part of life, isn't it? Like, you know, you see people vlogging, see people doing TikToks, and
thing is, I think you're used to it now. Like, you're quite happy to walk through an airport talking into your phone. I'm not.
It's took time. For me, it was doing it in a safe space was tricky, then it was good.
What do you mean by safe space?
Like at home where no one else was listening.
Or watching.
And then next was sort of in front of general people, which was like embarrassing. Then I got over that. Then family and friends, that was difficult. It was really difficult. I felt like a right idiot when I was doing it in that. And now I've sort of got to a stage now where I feel like we're doing it and that's what we do. And
you've earned your Dilly Gaff badge.
Dilly Gaff.
Do you know what that means?
I do, yeah.
Well done.
Maybe somebody in the comments will know what it is as well. I can't put that. So today we've got Reese in the cupboard. He's back off holiday and he is now 21.
He hasn't got a very good suntan though, has he?
No, he hasn't.
Did you take the Factor 50 with you, Reese?
Yeah. I think they stopped in the room a lot, I reckon. And yeah, he had a cake and we had a little surprise party for him and he got all emotional.
He loved having happy birthday sung to him.
Didn't he? The most awkward 20 seconds of his life.
And ours.
It was so bad. And then we've also got Ryan on the questions.
Yep. I love it.
So yeah, keep the questions coming. Right, where did it all start? Let's go from there. So,
is there anybody watching first?
Is there anybody watching?
143.
There we go.
Evening all.
So it started with like a lot of the OG fans will know, was through Ryan Taylor. Ryan Taylor is and was an absolute massive YouTube person. And when I met him, we talked through stuff, and he said that like we should start filming our lives, and because of like how lucky we are to have this facility, home, whatever you call it. And yeah, he put us on, he actually edited the first 2 videos.
Well, he persuaded you to go public, really, didn't he?
Yeah, because life was a lot different then.
It was a lot different, but we've always been quite private.
And I think as well, like when we grew up sort of as younger, back in the 2000s, it was, if you shared stories or possessions or like objects, you were, it was very much frowned upon. And now obviously it's more of a share. So, you share the experiences, you share the purchase, you share your house, you share your life. And I think if we start off on YouTube itself, as a YouTuber, I feel like when we were growing up, there was Tom Cruise and there was David Beckham. And say Tom Cruise, he played a part of somebody. So like he wasn't an actual Senna's on the sweets, so sorry about that. So
yeah, let's address the elephant in the room. She is here with us. She's just occupying herself over in the corner at the moment, so...
She's been told not to tread on the cameras, not to push it. So anyway, a famous actor always played a part. So you never got the real person. And you've got footballers and famous sort of like celebrities, like music people. You didn't never get to actually understand who they are. But with us and YouTubing people and vloggers and stuff like that, you know, you actually get to see the real us. Like we haven't got like a camera Mark and Jane and a real Mark and Jane. We are the same people. So, you know, people get to know who we are, as people. And I think that's why we get a real good, like, loyal fan base, because they enjoy listening to what we do for some reason.
I agree. I'm just thinking, are we like the Redditch Kardashians?
What? Didn't one of them have a real big bottom?
I think they all have had at one stage or another.
And wasn't the one...
But there's a saying, isn't there? Big bottom girls make the rocking world go round.
Do they?
Yep.
Okay. Where would you class yourself in bottom size?
You tell me.
Oh, dude. Absolutely petite. Petite. So, yeah, that was the very, very start with Ryan. Like I say, he edited a couple of the first videos, was a big part of what we did. Then, unfortunately, obviously, he moved away to Dubai, left the UK, which was sort of like far from ideal at the time, because it was pretty scary. And, you know, we were filming stuff with Jordan and like things were going well. There goes Senna again, everyone. And everything was, you know, and it was difficult when he moved away. And then we stumbled across a few paths and eventually ended up with Reese, where obviously beggars can't be choosers.
I was about to say, with every silver cloud.
Well,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. The only good thing about Reese is I've met his mum. Oh, it was a joke.
I was going to say your wife sat next to you.
I forgot.
Did you forget where you were for a second?
I did for a second.
Man.
Reese's mum is the butt of a lot of jokes.
That's embarrassing. That's really embarrassing.
All right, Joe. So.
But yeah, Ryan got you started on a lot of things, didn't he, really? And then other doors then opened for things like Car Wow.
Yeah, like Ryan was very good at is very good at sort of understanding how the process works.
He was your manager.
Yeah, and he was brilliant at it. So like what he wouldn't do was he wouldn't allow collabs, wouldn't allow podcasts, stuff like that. He wanted just to grow organically. So as we've seen with a lot of people, when they go on a lot of collabs, they get a lot of followers fast, but not people who are sort of like dedicated to their stories. So they almost get not forced that person, but get shown that person. And then, you know, we haven't done that. We've slowly grown. So the people who watch us are people who have found us, not been sort of like, you've not been against in that 5 million sort of like subbed person and you're in the background. Force-fed. I like it. Not been forced. Foie gras. Yes. Very, very good. So the first actual collab we did, which we sort of like had a plan, and it was Car Wow.
So you actually went against what Ryan advised?
No. Ryan advised that was going to be our only collab. Our first collab was going to be going to the top of the numbers. So obviously the top of the numbers at the time, and probably still is now. Oh no, Matt's overtook probably now, but it was Car Wow. So to go on Car Wow, they wanted to borrow. I think it was the SVJ. Obviously, not many people had the SVJ. They knew that we were doing what we were doing. We were up and coming. I think we were probably on about 30,000 subscribers at the time. It literally
still loads though, isn't it?
It was mad numbers. And at the time, we were getting probably 50,000 views, which again was blowing our minds. And I remember going on this car. Well, them Ryan and Jordan organising that, and said to Matt Watson. Yes, he'll come on it, but he has to have a talking part. And then there was nobody really was doing a talking part. They borrowed your car, but that car was silent, and there was only really Matt speaking. And then did that, and obviously that sort of grew some attention to us. They did fantastic sort of adverts where they say, on the channel today we have Mark, and this is what Mark does. And so it wasn't just Mark. They showed like a 30-second clip of our videos. So that really, really helped. And
see, I forgot all that.
Yeah, it's great. And meeting Matt Watson as well, I remember, like, that was like crazy.
A fellow local yokel.
Yes, he's a Warsaler, which isn't not far from our work. So that was quite cool to sort of like meet Matt and be on that car wow journey. And even now, I was on car wow again the other month, probably a month ago. But it's difficult. Going on car wow is difficult because it's a day off work, and days off work are precious. And to go there is like, it's expensive. You in fuel and cars and tyres and times even more expensive. And then we could have used that time making videos. So so we haven't done as many. Every time she makes a noise, she says, sorry. Come and quickly say hello to everybody.
Leave your sweets there, though.
Now she's now ducking under the camera, which is a little bit
Hello.
dodgy.
And she has got a swimming costume on because as soon as we're finished here, you're going to go swimming, aren't you?
Swimming, we've got like a paddling pool outside, which is gone from absolutely freezing to not freezing.
I pushed Daddy in the pool last week.
Yeah, I did go in the pool.
But I did splash Daddy. There was a bumblebee in Daddy's mouth and there was a bumblebee in my mouth.
And then you landed on my head as well, didn't you? Get me a headache.
And I landed on Daddy's head too. Hello, everyone.
Okay.
Right.
Back
Good
to your
girl.
corner. Bless you. Thank you,
Don't
mate.
forget to duck.
Right, Ryan, message coming in.
Big announcement.
Okay.
Our first donation of £2 by Tim Butler.
A donation.
Yeah.
Can we have donations, can we?
No
Thank
way.
Thank you, Tim. We will spend that wisely. Senna, you can spend £2 on sweets.
That's not spending wisely.
No, it's not, is it? That's definitely not. No, thank you, Tim. That's very, very. Who's having the first £2? Shout quick.
Me?
So that was the car wow thing, which was good. So what we're going to do tonight is probably go through the process and sort of share all the highs, the lows, the good, the bad, all that sort of stuff. I never know which. And what we're going to do is we're going to get some little dots on the cameras which light up so we know which one to talk to. So we're evolving all the time.
I just end up with a stiff neck because I'm always looking at you, listening to you.
Yeah, that's, I suppose.
Is that why I'm sat this side? Because you turn better that way than you do that way?
I can't turn good either way. My neck and my back is bad. Should we show the crash, Reese?
I was going to say it's bad for a reason at the minute.
Yeah,
You didn't have the best of weekends, did you?
We'll go through what we were up to, but yeah. Ready? Okay. So this is a classic example of running out of talent. Brilliant. Okay, so you can see that was a fairly massive crash, to be fair. Like, we've had some big crashes in all sorts of vehicles and like stuff over the years. But, we've hit walls and stuff like that, but never have I got into a situation like that and actually ended up okay, which was an absolute miracle. So it was a very, very, as I was going to the wall, I thought, this is only ending in a hospital.
It couldn't have been a worse position either, though, really. And it's a good job that it did happen on the day that it did, because the day after, which is when all the general public really were there, Mark's crash just so happened to be into the barrier in front of where the children's playground area is and the ice cream van.
So you'd have been there.
Well, I was in the car, wasn't I, on the way up to you, so I didn't see it anyway. But one of our friends' wives, a fellow driver, she was there entertaining her children in the play area, and she just heard this almighty skid and bang.
Yeah.
And
well, I opened the door waiting for like the doctors and stuff, and she was shouting, "You're okay, Mark?" I didn't realise it was Darren's wife at the time, but I gave him the thumbs up, and yeah, I was collected by some lovely, lovely first aid guys who are probably watching this now because they watch the channel, the doctors. And first thing they said is, "Oh my God, it's you, Mark." It's like, yeah,
that's embarrassing.
Day's gone really, really bad. So yeah, that was the weekend. So next we had on our story. What's up, pal?
Can I just go to downstairs with Muzzy?
Yeah, no, he's back.
he's gone now.
Come on. No,
He's gone.
come on. So, Festival of Speed. So, at the time we were doing an advert, and the car was very dirty. Obviously, the SVJ called the Rock Box was up the field having a bit of fun. That was our thing.
Well, yeah, you'd gone up the field, given it a bit of a blast around, and typical June, July weather, there was an almighty downpour. And as quick as the rain came, it disappeared. And then you went round again, didn't you? And you came back down and opened the front door, and the car was parked on the drive. And I'll never, ever forget it, because I looked at it and I was just like, that is genius.
Looked good, didn't it?
It looked amazing. It was just something that you'd never seen before.
That's the
because
thing, isn't it? It was different, wasn't it?
Supercars are always highly polished. You know, people don't touch them because they don't want to put a finger mark on them. They're always pristinely detailed in a showroom. And then there's Mark from Redditch's SVJ that just looks like nothing on earth.
So it was Goodwood, and
we'd been down the day before,
Yeah, we
hadn't
had,
we?
mate, and-
You'd come back to do some filming with Jordan, which is why the car had got dirty like it had up the field. And because of the reaction, you and Jordan then decided to put it straight in the trailer, drive all the way back down to...
Didn't want the mud to fall off, did
No.
we? So we got there and we said it was like about 4:00 in the afternoon. Managed to sneak into the performance parking, like we do, and we parked it up and decided we'd give it half hour and see if it sort of gathered any momentum for the channel, because we had channel stickers on there. Then we'd leave it there, and if not, we'd bring it straight home. And it went crazy. Like there's just everybody was taking
Well, there was
photos.
more people around your car, because I can remember you FaceTiming me. There were more people around your car, it looked like, than there actually were walking around the Festival of Speed.
Yeah,
it was just crazy.
It really sort of caught people's attention. So we left it there for 2 days, and that was a massive boost to the channel again. It was like, you know, sort of like almost like a PR stunt, I guess.
It was. But it was really interesting, the amount of people that couldn't keep their fingers off that car.
Yeah, like I suppose.
Like, you never touch a clean car, do you? Out of respect. But for some bizarre reason, because it's covered in
Dirty.
dust, people were writing their names on it. They were writing rude pictures.
There was pictures of rockets.
Yep.
We all know what a rocket is.
And I think it could be classed as disrespectful, touching your car like that. But do you think people were doing it more to see whether it was actual real dirt as opposed to...
We did hear that. People were like, because I suppose they were going, oh my God, it really is muddy. So yeah, you know, it was obviously PPF'd and it was absolutely fine. But yeah, like you say, as a rule, nobody touches somebody else's car. But as soon as one person had done it and wrote their name on the side, then everybody else did.
And it did get a lot of people talking, and your phone then started to ring, didn't it? Because you were then having people ring you that you were watching on YouTube.
That was crazy. I remember another big bit was the British Motor Show, and thanks to Chiro was sort of like took us all under his wing. You know, there was
Chiro and Petrol Hedonism.
There's like a group. They're fantastic people, and we'd go to various shows as a group with Chiro. So, like, there would be Adam and Scott and Jack and Sam and others. We'd all sort of like be on the stage together and stuff like that, which was really cool. And I remember we were on the British Motor Show, British Motor Show, and I was on. First time I'd met Yanni, and like Yanni was massive.
Oh, when he was on the stage.
He was on the stage, and he was sat next to me. And they were like, it's like, you know, we're going to go, like, you know, we're going to start talking now. And I was shaking.
He put his hand on your knee, didn't he?
He literally put his hand on my knee, and I'll never forget it. This is how amazing.
Did you say, easy, Tiger?
And he just went, I've got you, bro. And I'll never forget that. And that's how good and nice a guy Yanni is. And like, that's exactly what he said to me. Always have the utmost respect for Yanni after that. He was just amazing. And I have a good relationship, a good friendship with him now.
He's lovely.
And
and I hope the tour's going well, because they're all on their tour at the minute.
Now, the Yanamize tour. So we're missing that, unfortunately. We couldn't time it with time, which is a shame, because we would have loved to have gone again.
100%. 100%.
And one thing, again, this is really, really clever. This is where Yanni is a marketing genius. We were doing, it was called Commonwealth Games, because it was the Commonwealth Games year. And there was me and Yanni put together in a Mini Cooper soft top. I was driving and he was throwing the javelin. So we had to go up to the line, slam on the brakes, and then Yanni threw the javelin. And it was all a bit, it was Paul Swift who was doing the thing. And they were like, come on, you've got to quick, fast. And then we sort of like did our thing. And they were like, come on, back it's for the next person. And Yanni was like, go round the whole arena slow. Like, and everyone was telling us to get off. And he went in front of every single person and said hello and thank you to every single person watching. And he, like, we stopped and he said, bro, he said, like, give you a lesson there. That's 500 photos now, which you're going to get tagged in.
See, I didn't get to see any of that because I was entertaining somebody up at the bouncy castle.
British Motor Show is basically spent at the bouncy castle with your friends, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
And we'll see them again this year.
An amazing event that is. Love it down there.
Very, very, very good event. Yeah, very good event. Nice. Always like a lot to do on that show. And it's not, I feel like that show's not really massively car enthusiast as well. I think it's the local area. Just people go for a day out.
It's just lovely where it is. But it's lovely because a lot of it's outside, and I think we've looked at so far with regards to the weather.
Every year it's been absolutely red hot.
Touch wood.
Red hot. Then what else? What else came after that? I'd say probably our wedding.
Yeah.
So we shared that with you guys, which was like, that was a big step for us because my mum and dad didn't really get the YouTube thing as well, and obviously my dad was alive then. My mum wasn't very well.
Well,
so
both of them were poorly at that stage.
really poorly.
Like, we didn't think either of them would make it there on the day, did we?
No.
And they both did.
God knows how.
Neither remembered anything of it.
Both off their
In the
not
land
on
of
drugs.
fairies.
Not paracetamol, that sort of stuff.
But it's bizarre because, like, how many people have watched that vlog now?
Reese, how many?
Which one's that, sorry?
The wedding?
80,000.
80,000 people. And you must go and watch, like, go back and watch it because share our day. So obviously you're going to have to look back a long time on the channel. But like, we literally vlogged the whole day, and it was
Such a funny day because it wasn't just the wedding. Like, with the next door neighbour that we've got, there were like pranks and antics going on from like 8 o'clock in the morning.
It was crazy. And then Darb turned up in a Reliant Robin.
Which was from that famous Rodney and Del Boy programme.
So that was, yeah, the Only Fools and Horses one. So that was, yeah, it was an amazing day. And even, like, you know, we've watched the video back, and it was great to have obviously Senna there as bridesmaid and stuff. So it was a really special day and a real amazing thing to look back on. And then a massive part, I think, of the channel was I had a message. We got followed on Instagram by Whistling Diesel. And like Cody at the time, obviously I didn't know Cody at all. And he followed about 60 or 70 people. And he followed like...
You were the only UK person at that time, weren't
like,
you?
oh my God. Like, you know, even he didn't follow Yanni and Shmee. Like, it was just like he'd seen the SVJ thing, which was a bit of him, like doing donuts and stuff like that. And he reached out, arranged to come to our house, which obviously for him to be in the UK was like massive. He reached out, said he got a video idea. He was coming to buy a tank, obviously.
As you do.
And he said he was going to come to us. And I didn't get too excited. I said, like, if he turns up, he turns up. I just assumed it wasn't going to happen.
Well, it was the day before anyway, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was all a little bit sort of like, is he coming? Like, they didn't answer messages very well and stuff like that. And then
because they were flying
and like, and obviously the priority was getting a tank. That was their priority. And I think they messed up there. It went wrong. They were working till late into the night. And then I never forget, like, you know, all of a sudden look at the gate, and like Cody is there, like with Seth and Tyler, and they're at our gate. And then we do a YouTube video with Whistling Diesel. And bearing in mind, at that stage, Whistling Diesel was one of the biggest, and still is, automotive creators. Very, very clever content. So as a content creator, he is next level and still is now. And to have him in the house and to do that video, that was a big boost for our channel.
Yeah.
Massive. Because like a lot of people saw similarities as us as a very watered down more sensible UK version, because like he was just smashing stuff up, which is money, and like, you know, it was sort of like against my.
Well, he was smashing G-Wagons up at the time, and you were smashing up £300 scrapyard minis.
That's the level, wasn't it? That's exactly what it is.
But he
Yeah.
loved the £300 scrapyard
Yeah.
mini. He had such a giggle in it.
We were driving round. I was driving around flat out round the oval with
He was
him
hanging on the roof, wasn't he?
holding onto the roof. And then he was like, "Your turn." I was like, "Not a chance. Am I getting on the top of whistling diesels?"
Not with him driving it
with
anyway.
him driving that. But there's a great clip of me and him in that BMW when we blow that drift car up, and the wheel snaps.
Yeah.
Great day.
That car's now the Angel of the Midlands.
Oh yeah, God, yeah. Like that. It's basically
Don't say.
James.
Don't say too much. I'm sure it'll show itself over
I know
the
it has
summer.
anyway.
Has it?
Yeah, it's been seen. Yeah, James and Justin carefully parked it for us when they were doing the track build. Big hello to the Kings Lynn Massive,
Yeah.
if they're watching. Then Gumball, which was basically our honeymoon.
Yep. It was.
Big,
A child-free honeymoon.
big decision that was. Obviously, we went because, unfortunately, not long after the wedding, my dad passed away. So we used some money which he left to go on the Gumball, which was amazing.
Phenomenal. And again, the people that we met there. Shmi was a big part of that for us.
Shmi was absolutely amazing because we'd still be there now.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Tim sort of like put us under his wing, and sort of like he was just amazing. Like his
Well, he
whole team.
navigated us through London, which we'd have never done with my skill level.
Do you remember? Like, if you don't know, Tim's name is Tim Burton, and do you remember we went past Primark, didn't we?
Yep.
And we said that's probably not where Tim
Shops.
shops.
No, I said something about Burton's shop window. Anyway, digressing.
So make sure you keep your questions and all those sort of stuff. Anything coming in?
We got a donation of £5 by Nicholas Natty.
Thank
Do
you
we
ve-
look poor?
thank
Do we
you.
look like we need something?
Thank you very much. But honestly, thank you very much. But you spend the money on yourselves. It's a massive, massive thank you for doing that. Huge thank you. That one probably. Huge thank you for doing that. But you spend the money on yourselves. Thank you. But
Wow.
like, massive thank you. Put it in the charity box. But thank you.
Astian has asked, are you going to the Grand Prix?
Ooh,
Wow. Do you know what? We'll quickly diversify.
digress. Change subject.
Change the subject. So the P1 has got us invited to some. It's weird. You get into this like posh circle, haven't we? And
Thing
sort of
is, we're
like-
never going to be posh.
No, never going to be posh. But we sort of like one of the hospitality place has reached out to our management team.
Is that me?
No, James.
That's you. Oh.
So they've reached out to James and sort of said they wanted to borrow the P1. So in return, it's called the Ignition Club. They've sent us 4 tickets for Saturday and 4 tickets for Sunday, and we're in hospitality. I'm going to fill my pockets.
Well,
I'm definitely coming out there fully loaded.
under no normal circumstances, you wouldn't have accepted an offer like that because, to be fair, you've already been and seen a Grand Prix. But because wifey was at home, she gets to come this time. Can't wait. I'm so excited.
What do you reckon? I reckon. Do you know, like when you've got like a posh place and I reckon it won't be Walker's crisps. I think it's going to be like
Tyrrell's.
Tyrrell's or Kettle crisps.
It'll be Tyrrell's.
Do you reckon that's what it is?
Yeah.
We'll let you know next week if it is Tyrrell's. But we've got full hospitality, which is like, and that is obviously because of YouTube. For no other reason has like this got to this stage, but because of you guys. So thank you for everyone who is subscribed, and if you haven't, please do it now. But yeah, that's another YouTube consequence.
So, yes, we will be going to the Grand
Yep.
Prix.
So Reese is going with Maddie and us 2 on the Saturday, and Darb and Kirst are going on the Sunday.
Yeah.
So Reese didn't get the Sunday because he went last year to Yas Marina. So Darb Darb, and then on Saturday, Darb and Kirsty's a swap are having centre for the day, and they're going riding on the bike.
If the weather's okay.
If the weather's going, hopefully to Uncle Rob's.
Yeah.
If he's on. Yeah, so that was Gumball. So yeah, amazing. Tim, got so much time for Tim, absolute legend, and got us home because we were lost constantly, and it was hard work, wasn't it, Gumball? 17 hours.
It was hard work.
17 hours in the car. That's how far it was. Basically, if you do 200 mile an hour everywhere, no problem. We had a roof box which kept coming loose, which I was worried was going to come off and take out a family. Remember we got overtook by a man towing a shed?
Yeah. I can remember stopping as well. We pulled in somewhere or something because it was wobbling. And there was a guy in a truck. Now, we hadn't got any spanners or anything. There was a guy in a truck. And I thought, Mark will get out of the car in a minute. He'll go and ask.
I forgot to ask him.
If he's got any tools that he could maybe use just to tighten a screw or a couple
that,
of bolts up. But no, you just got out, shook it with your hand, made a decision that it's safe enough, and then carried on.
So yeah, that was Gumball, which was amazing.
I'd love to do it again.
Yeah, obviously, cost, time, but if the location was right, we'll be there at the drop of a hat, I think. The year before they went to America, didn't they? Went around every NASCAR circuit and racetrack. And then we went there and we went round a load of castles. Basically. The year we go was a celebration of castles.
It was beautiful. Like.
It was great castles. But to be fair, I've never been a massive connoisseur of no, and if I've been to Warwick Castle, that did me. I was fully castled out for the rest of my life. I didn't need to see 10 days of castles, if I'm honest. So yeah, but no, amazing experience. Just expensive to a new level, but not expensive for a reason as well. We stopped in we're Premier Inns, aren't we? The Moon Hotel.
Moon Hotel, yeah.
And we definitely didn't stop in Premier Inns.
No. Lifetime memories, mate. It's our honeymoon.
Perfect. All good. Where should we go from there? We're going to carry on through the so you can see all the bits of where it's all taken us. I think probably big shout out to Ken Block.
Yeah.
The RX-43.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I bought the car much to the argument of many stupid comments on the internet. I bought that car while Ken was alive. Massive fan of Ken Block. Just thought it was amazing. I've watched all the Gymkhanas so many times over.
It's just you, that, isn't it? You love a bit of that.
I love a bit of sideways in a car and jump in a car. That is
with a bit of dirt, a bit of tarmac.
Exactly me. A rally car, everything about that car and him was what I aspired to be. So I bought that car, and realistically, I bought it and I was going to buy it. Never mind about YouTube, but probably where the YouTube bit comes in is where it got us invited to afterwards, but also the public have a very, very weird reaction to that car, don't we? It literally, people cry when they see it, and that's not an exaggeration.
No.
People obviously...
Makes people's hair stand up on their arms. It's just... Yeah, I haven't got the word for it at the minute.
But he was...
Like a unicorn.
Yeah, a unicorn, and it was like a symbol of him. So obviously he passed away tragically. So people get to see a part of his life, which was that car was a massive part of his life. So it does make people emotional, which is good to see. So, there's
His
Ken.
suit.
That's Ken's suit. Can you believe Mark
It's the
from
block
Reddit just
suit.
Ken's suit? Well, part of the deal of the car was his suit. The handbrake had got a stop on, which was a bit of a... he signed a picture, which we since found out was an escort, which nobody noticed until last week.
That was only because I hung it up the other week.
For Reese's birthday.
Bless you.
Bless you, Senna.
And also a seatbelt.
A seatbelt, yeah. But obviously, all of that stuff at the time was, I want your suit, Ken, that's got to be part of the deal. But it wasn't so significant.
No.
And now when you think about it now, my God... it changed from a level of that Fiesta, buying a Fiesta off Ken Block was expensive, without a doubt. To buy a Fiesta for that sort of money which obviously we shared on the channel. It was £350,000, which is just like ridiculous.
It was stressful there because the damn thing turned up. Didn't even know how to start it.
We just assumed there was going to be an instruction booklet.
Or a key.
Yeah, it's like absolutely no idea how to start it. Like we since found out, like Derek, who was like the chief engineer, lives in Solihull, about 15 minutes away. But yeah, like that car, to see it, when I remember Kieran Graffin came for the first day. It came because obviously he knew how to start a rally car. And it was just mind blowing. And obviously from what happened with Ken, tragically, the car has elevated in price, which was not what I wanted, but it's a sad fact of the consequence of like that amazing man passing away.
Life, you just never know.
Like, you know, people say to me, "No, well, that was a good decision." I was like, "Well, no, it wasn't a good. I wanted the car
You
of
wanted
Ken
the
Block."
car.
And one of the worst bits about the whole situation with me is I never got to meet him, and buying that car was almost like buying a minute with him.
But you say it often. Never go and have a look at the kitchen in your favourite restaurant.
Ken Block would not have disappointed. Everyone I've ever spoke to.
He might have done. He might have said something quite offensive to you.
But look
like
who he
you
is.
did to Travis Pastrana.
Yeah, that was bad times. Bad times. Yeah, bad times. Yeah, that wasn't my best moment.
I think you're a bit starstruck, to be fair, weren't
Travis
you?
Pastrana to me is an absolute, like, again, that's where I grew up.
And that was at Goodwood.
Bikes and stunts. So met Travis Pastrana because of that car. So Travis, obviously, Ken had sadly passed away. We got the invite, didn't we, to Goodwood.
Yeah.
So we're at Goodwood Festival of Speed. First of all, we're in this holding bay to go up the hill, and I'm so scared, and I am absolutely terrified. I can't even put the clutch in because my knee is shaking so much. And there was Nick and Rich there, and we had no tools. We just took this car. Right, we're filling the car up with fuel by the thing, and all of a sudden everyone starts shouting because we're supposed to have took it somewhere else. We have absolutely no idea what we're doing. We got told to get to the thing, and I'm so scared. We've got no axle stands to warm the car up or nothing. And I've said to Nick, I said, I'm going to stall it. And he was like, you'll be all right, Mark. Like, you know how to drive a car.
One of them.
You'll be all right. He's like, yeah, you'll be all right. So I was like, went to pull away. There was Travis Pastrana, me, and Tom Christensen, and I stalled it. And Nick just went, he's a man of his word. So I met Travis Pastrana. Went to the ball, so I said to Travis, and it's true, I was there the day he last rode his motocross bike in racing. He broke his wrist at Sacramento. So I just thought I'd share that moment with him. I just thought I'd tell him that I've seen him before. So I just went, I tried, and he was like, yeah, thanks for bringing Ken's car. Like, it really appreciated it. I was like, no problem. I have met you before, like, people. And he was like, oh, okay. Like, politely going, I have no idea who you are. Obviously didn't, because it was about 15 years before. I said, yeah, the day you crashed and broke your wrist at Sacramento, like last time you rode your bike, I was there. And he put his arm around me dead close and said, thank you for reminding me of one of the worst days of my life. Mark's here.
It's normally me that says the wrong thing.
Cheers, Travis. But the ball was amazing as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, and again,
And we did a video. Remember, we did that video. So we did a video on.
Of course, because it closed, didn't it? Because of the wind.
Because of the wind. So we did a video about the truth of, and that was our biggest ever video at the time. I remember it went to 170,000 views.
Mental.
And we were like, oh my God, we have made it. It was an amazing, and it was a very simple video, but it just shows you sometimes that is all about topic and timing.
Yeah, definitely.
So I can't imagine anyone's watched it recently, but at the time, people wanted to know why their tickets had been cancelled, and because the word on the street was the wind wasn't that bad, and oh my God, the wind was bad.
It was, but was it that bad?
No.
I think the thing is, because there's so many trees on the estate,
all those,
like,
it was bad.
the risk
of somebody getting hurt was massive. That's the point, isn't it? If you were there by yourself,
do you think it was a risk of people though, more than a vehicle? Because the price of some of those vehicles.
I'd imagine they'd sort of want to look after people more than the cars. I'd have thought. So
maybe.
And have we got any more questions?
Yeah, few people from earlier were asking about your Escort Cosworth and what the plans are with it.
Right, okay. Yeah, we can talk all about that. So Escort Cosworth, obviously under a tree, going a little bit mouldy. No, not going mouldy, just going green.
Well, it's not white anymore.
It's not white anymore, but it's very easily put back to white, in my opinion.
It's looking very sorry for itself.
So real cool story. Richard Hammond is coming here, and he's going to do a cog score, and then it's going to the littlest cog to be refurbished, which would be amazing because, again, thanks to YouTube and you guys, get to meet Richard Hammond. I've been in his helicopter.
I was just going to say, we've been in his helicopter.
For my, a few years ago for my 30th. See what I did there? I got helicopter lessons, and basically went up in Richard's helicopter. That helicopters aren't for me, are they?
Scared the living daylights out of me.
So what happened was, this is how the helicopter thing goes. So we go up in the helicopter. So I've said to mate who sat next to me, I said, like, what happens if this thing breaks now? I think that's a common question for anyone who's sat in a helicopter. Like, if you break down on the motorway, you hit your hazards and you're in the AA. When you're up there, what do you do? So he said, what you do? He said, I'll tell you what, I'll turn it off. So I was like, what? He said, I'll turn it off and we'll land without engines. I was like, oh, man, I'll have a bit of this. I'm right into this. So he lands and he comes down, and basically what they do is they come down like this, and then they pivot up and then land like that. And it was next level. And then I had the realisation that I cannot have a helicopter, because after knowing that now, every night, if I had a helicopter and I had to park it, I'd do it that way, because it was way more exciting.
But it wasn't even that, Mark. Like the lever that you do not let go of with your hand, you kept letting go of with your hand. I know. So that's why the flying lessons ended.
So that would have been a backflip and all sorts. So yeah, that was the end of my my helicopter. So that's what's happening to the Escort basically. So the Escort is going to be looked after, put back to being amazing. It's an amazing car. They're going up in value so much as well.
So when's that happening?
I think in about a month's time.
Okay.
So I think it was...
So kind of early autumn.
Yes. Well, those cars, they were like 30 grand, 40 grand. Now they're like 70s, 80s. Like I said, if you've got a car collection, there's a few cars which are really, really cool to have in your collection. Clio V6 is one of them. And an Escort Cosworth is definitely another. Very, very cool car. Right, next on our YouTube journey, Strato jump.
Oh, it's a biggie.
That was a big day for our channel, a big day. So basically, we've been building the track in the back garden the original time, had this Strato, always wanted to jump a car. And we'd actually bought an Audi R8 to convert, which was turned into a nightmare. Couldn't get the suspension to fit, was costing us a fortune. And then Lamborghini, like I remember being with the Lamborghini the one day, and they said, we're making a car exactly for you. So they'd made this car. And then we went up the track and thought, we'll have a go at jumping it.
No, there was no way. You and your daft ideas.
The jump, we looked at the jump, didn't we? We know what jumps look like.
I
from
looked
racing
at the jump.
and said,
That's too steep, Mark.
and I knew it was too steep. Spend a lot of time jumping things in my life, especially cars, buggies, and I knew it was too steep. But we were committed. We had to finish the video.
You still did it anyway.
We had cameras everywhere, didn't we?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many cameras on this jump to catch it. And I was actually going to go faster. I thought I've hit this too slow. So I thought I'd do it twice. I'd do the first time just to make sure, get me eye in, and then we'll go for it. And oh my God.
You'd have been through the hedge if you'd have gone fast.
I'd have rolled. It would have rolled over the front. It was a massive, massive jump. The bang was horrific. And I remember landing and thinking, done. Absolutely done. Like, life has changed now because I've just wrecked a 250 grand car in 2 minutes. And somehow...
The airbags didn't go off.
And
Like, we never even give it a thought on that day.
well,
And it was only after Jamie in the Mini had the
Airbags.
airbag go off in his face that the realisation kicked in. Like,
Well-
why did those airbags not go off?
because it didn't... Well, I suppose it
It
did, actually.
did. I was going to say, you couldn't see you were inside it. I was watching from the outside and it definitely went like that.
But I remember we sent the footage to Matt and Matt,
Yeah.
and we sent him, and they like rang up straight away, and they're going like, "Has that been photoshopped?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "No, that's real." And they're
Nobody
like,
believed it was real, did they,
"Oh
to
my-"
start off
Like,
with?
people say to me, like, you look at the comments on the video, and they say, "I honestly assumed that it was Photoshop and clickbait." I'm like, "Nope, it wasn't clickbait. It wasn't photoshopped. I messed up." But like when you make a YouTube video, if you imagine what you're trying to make is the perfect video of extremeness, but without ruining something.
Yeah.
And that was exactly that. Like another mile an hour.
Oh, it was perfection.
Like it would have. And Rich fixed it within. I was in a bit of a bad way. We took it straight over. Like the steering was out, panels were out, but obviously it just pushed out a little bit, and then got it all back perfect. And I felt a lot better. But it was. And then when we looked at the footage afterwards, I had a bad neck for 6 months. I had bad whiplash. So, any questions?
Right, so carrying on with the racetrack, how often do you use it? Asked by Global Telemetrics.
Oh, Global Telemetrics. I wonder who that was. I wonder if it was Gav. So, yeah, not often at all, do we? If we're honest, sort of like time. When I was racing the buggies, I used to go up there quite a lot, didn't I? Probably, like, I'd say.
It would be up there, but it would always be short blasts.
We always, like you probably won't believe this, but I'm unbelievably respectful to our neighbours. We
Yeah.
haven't got many. So if I'd go on the buggy, I'd make sure it wasn't a bank holiday Monday night or a Sunday night. There wasn't anybody having a barbecue.
The wind wasn't blowing in the wrong direction.
So like what I'd do is I'd go up there, say, instead of spending all day up there for like, you know, having a blast here, we'd go up there, I'd do 15-minute session or 10-minute session, get out of the way, get the buggy back in, noise had stopped. Because like everybody here, farmers, they all make noise, they all drop poo all over the road, you know. So like we don't make any noise here, we're always at work. So, and the track, what do we use it a year? Probably for videos, 5 times, 10 times at a max. So like, you know, it doesn't get used. I spend way more time and money looking after it.
I was going to say, it's the prepping and the looking after.
And it looks amazing at the minute.
There's a very, very small window that you can actually use it
Very.
because of,
Clay.
yeah. Like it's either too wet and you can't get anything up there. And if you do get it up there, it's not coming down until the springs come.
Yeah, so it's not very often. It's not enough.
But when we do, God, we have some fun.
It's ice up there. Senna's bit. Senna's
She's
got-
using it more than anybody
she's
at the
got- You've got an
moment.
electric bike, haven't you, pal? Oh, she's coming.
I ride a motorbike.
You do, mate. Give me a kiss. Well done. Any more questions?
You forgot the camera.
Yes, it was Mike, not Gav.
Oh, is it Mike? Oh, yeah, Mike, you're right.
Ian McCormick, what's happening with the KTN?
Video this Tuesday is the big answer.
But I actually got to go on a little holiday and I've seen it.
And what did you think of it?
I can't put it into words.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It's just,
I can't wait for, you know, to tell you our journey of what's going on with that car.
it's like nothing I've ever seen before. Not what I expected in a good way, but also a bad way. But yeah, unreal.
When you press the button, you just smile and laugh, like getting in and out of it. So, but next video on that is this coming Tuesday. So make sure you're subscribed, turn your notifications on.
Yeah.
Otherwise you might miss that. So that's main channel this Tuesday at 6 p.m.
Ish.
If Reese and Ryan get busy over the weekend. Right, where did we get to? So probably the next part of our journey would have been our exposing. We went into it like the exposing parts were so much fun, those videos. Because when we start on a subject, you start on a subject and we don't know the answers. We don't know where it's going to take us. And you do a video and you find out, you speak to people, try and find out some information, and then it progresses. And then you do the video and it does well. and then you have whistleblowers and people send you a message saying, I used to work for these people, this happened. And sometimes I get the emails and I go, oh my God, listen to this.
The stories that are out there, like sometimes you just, it's almost, you feel like it's fiction, but it's not.
And this is big brands as well, isn't it? Like
Yeah,
big people
just-
who are doing stuff.
Like everything you've
Ethically
done,
wrong.
not just like the thieves thing, like the exposing thing, the insurance thing, the, you know,
Lot
the
of fun.
whole, everything. Like when people start contacting you and they're saying, you know, I'm in this situation and this has happened, sometimes you come in and you're like, you've got to stop what you're doing. Like, you're not going to believe this. And I don't want to half the time because it's just, you couldn't even make it up if you wanted to.
No, well, Ewan story.
Yeah.
Like we've got another video coming out in about probably a few weeks anyway, and that story again about theft is just next level. But the Porsche thing was really interesting and sort of like that was a real insight to how the world works, and apparently it happens a lot with watches and handbags and stuff like that. This sort of being forced to spend a certain amount of money to get.
Well, scamming's just getting worse and worse, isn't it?
Scamming's
You know,
like,
it's almost out of control, isn't it? You've just got to be so savvy to everything nowadays.
and that's where like we've got some amazing stuff, and the thieves, like we had our friend down in Portsmouth. We're good to say so. Stu, massive respect for Stu. He got us into sort of like this underground world, and when me and Reese went and saw this guy in this car park, we came out, and it was sketch, when it Reese. It was sketch, and then it all went very, very sketchy. I remember I told you that he saw somebody who was sort of after him, and then there was a lot of speeding, a lot of like people going in different directions. So basically there was a feud going on between these two lads, and they'd bumped into each other while we were there, and like they didn't want to chat. So there was all sorts of things being shouted and threatened, and we were like, we're in the clear when we sat there, and I've never done a 3-point turn so fast in all my life, because I was like, I wasn't happy about what was going on. But yeah, it sort of makes it really exciting, really, really. And
Well, sorry.
And then obviously, yeah, go on.
I was going to say there's like highs and lows to it all. As exciting as it
Yeah.
is, again, you wouldn't be doing stuff like that if it wasn't for this channel and the views and our subscribers, basically.
Yeah, again, like it opens doors. Like we've had like a meeting this week with a TV company who want to sort of do some stuff through TV as well, which is like, again, that's been pretty exciting. There's been a lot of stuff goes on every week where it just blows your mind. I say to you, never guess what's happened today. I say that most days, don't I?
You do. But then also, like, the flip side of it is there are lows. Like, don't get me wrong, there's not many of them, but people do ask why we've decided to do what we do, and the simple answer to that is we enjoy it, but also it's a nice legacy for our daughter further on down the line, when vlogs are being watched in 20 years' time or whatever. Like, we enjoy watching the stuff that's been done 2 years ago just to see how much she's grown and progressed.
Well,
But-
she might be her own little YouTuber, hasn't she?
Yeah, absolutely.
What she's going to be. Because like even one thing which like is like a struggle with is the term YouTuber. It's sort of like it's a, people at a school like know, like say YouTube and stuff, and that makes me cringe a little bit. But then I think no, it's like be proud of what we've done. As a team, all of us here tonight, and Matt who's not here, like we work so hard for what we do, and like people say, what are you? Entrepreneur sounds even worse because I'm definitely not one of them. I'm an engineer. What are you?
I'm a girl Friday.
Girl Friday, what's that mean?
Does a bit of everything.
Doesn't she? So yeah. So yeah, I'm an engineer.
But what I was going back to what I was saying, like for all the highs, occasionally you do get a low, and one of the lows was obviously fake Ken when you kind of did the scamming.
Yeah, that was. Do you know what? Where that went wrong for me is it was because it was late. It was in the middle of the night. I'm not a very good sleeper, am I? I'm not very good. I'm getting better actually the last few months, but I've always been a terrible sleeper.
It's the mallet.
Yeah, and halfway through the night, I'd like be sat there for an hour thinking, "What the hell am I going to do?" Look, what clock watching. So occasionally I used to pick my phone up, didn't I? Which probably made it worse. And I saw this email coming from Fake Ken saying he was going to come and, come and get us all. And he'd sent us some sort of like pictures of like you guys and like at the time.
Well, it was a picture of me and Senna, wasn't it?
Yeah, at the time, like, it bothered me but like, this is where you guys are next level, because you've got to imagine, like, you guys are like, a massive part of our journey, and my God, you have our back. Like the messages I had, like there was one guy, and thank you, like a Navy SEAL, and he literally was quite happy to go take him out.
You make me laugh when you say the Navy SEAL, because he's probably like a zookeeper at Chester who looks after the seals or the penguins or something.
Like we had people fighting our corner to a next level. Like,
People still ask now, don't they?
The information we found out and know, we're protected because of the people who did help us. And, there was one guy in particular who sort of just did so much for us. So I feel like, we've got sort of like a following, which is really good.
Ooh.
What?
Tavares has just posted a video with a crashed 918.
What, so he's bought one?
Yeah, he's literally just posted the video.
Don't switch over though. Stay with us for a bit.
Work,
We've only
Reece.
got about 5 minutes left to go. Have we got any more comments or
What
questions?
do you think of the 918 versus the P1?
Well, I guess 918 versus P1, obviously Tommy and me are definitely going to have, I'd imagine, a race off.
Isn't that a dead question though? Because you'd have obviously bought a 918 if you'd have
Yeah,
preferred it.
like, I definitely prefer a P1 like 10 times over, but like I'd imagine somehow Matt's going to borrow a LaFerrari and we're going to redo that again, I suppose, in the UK. They've done it I think they did it in Dubai, I think. But
Well, we could all do it in Dubai.
But to do, yeah, we could come and just rent them for the day. So that would be quite cool. So the lows that was a low, but the low also came with a security to know that whatever we get up to, whatever happens, like my God, people are there for us in a big way, which was nice to see. Facebook. Then we did the Facebook scam. This was a great one. Do you remember we did the editing race?
Oh, yeah.
So basically, this guy was trying to scam us on Facebook. He was like so stupid, wasn't he? So stupid. And like he was in a room with a load of other people trying to scam, and you could hear him. And we had his mobile number and we were ringing his mobile number. So we accidentally left it in a video and put oops, and YouTube took the video down for bullying and harassment because we left his phone number on. So we left a scammer's phone number for people to enjoy themselves and send him a few text messages. And we had to cut the clip with his phone number in, and then they put it back up.
Fair enough.
Which was...
Lesson learned.
Got a question. Since you're a YouTuber, what's some advice that you would give someone to grow their own channel? Asked by John Lewis.
The John Lewis, or?
I don't think it's the John Lewis, but...
I was going to say what it is. He definitely doesn't need any help.
Sorry, what was the question? What advice?
What advice would you
If
give?
someone wants to start their own YouTube channel, what advice would you give them?
Do it.
And keep going. Like one thing for certain, do not give up your job. Let's make that clear. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
No.
Like, you've got to get to a stage where you cannot cope anymore, and then you can consider the swap. But do not, keep doing what you're doing, and in your spare time, all of your spare time, stop up later, keep going. And if you get 10 views the first time and then 15 the next and 20 and 30 and 40, just keep going. Like, we had, I think our first video did about 30,000 at the time, which was like, and that was simply because of Ryan Taylor. It wasn't because of Mark.
We've always said as well from the offset, like, we're going to ride the wave. We're going to carry on with it whilst we enjoy it. It will take us where it takes us. But the minute that it's not enjoyable or, it starts grating, then...
Which we go through phases, don't we? And right now it's brilliant, isn't it? Like, right now it's...
I haven't gone through a phase.
I think it's stress, isn't it? It's stress sometimes, and, commitment.
Yeah, but sometimes you are too much of a yes man.
Yeah, but I've cut down a lot of that. We're not we're nowhere near as many car shows.
This man sat to the right of me here thinks you can do a marathon in 10 minutes.
But I'm the sort of person, if I'm 10 minutes early, which never happens, I'll fill it with fuel, which takes 15 minutes. So it'll still make me late.
No, it'll take you 20 minutes, and you'll get a Star bar from the garage on the way. Drop chocolate down yourself, so you got to go and clear yourself up. So there's half an hour lost.
So
anyway.
Any
more?
So, shadowing the police. So we went, thanks to Scott, big shout out to Scott, massive fan of Scott. And obviously James and Steph. And we got the opportunity to do the drug driving video, which was...
This is with West Mercia Police.
West Mercia Police, amazing. And it was just unbelievable.
Of which you actually won an award, didn't you, for the work that you've done with them?
We did. We won.
You and Reese.
And mainly them guys. But yeah, we got a glass plaque of some sort, which was amazing.
It's not in here.
No, it's not in here.
We'll bring it in for next week.
Yeah, bring it in and show and tell. Yeah, and it was amazing. And we're trying to do more on some of the stuff, but unfortunately, at the minute, they've got health and safety worries about, but that was pretty amazing to, like, I sort of hoped I'd never in my life get arrested, and I was arrested, but obviously not really arrested. So I've been through the process, and I'm hoping I don't ever have to do it again.
No, but you've also been a big risk for them. This is like the first time a police force has taken on a YouTuber.
A person, yeah.
A
like
person
a real person
rather than a TV channel.
Yeah, like, they've had a camera crew in the back who doesn't say anything and comes running out with a big fluffy mic, but never, me and Reese. Well, it was amazing when it raced those nights with Scott, and like just some of the stuff we saw was just amazing. But so hoping to continue with that. That was a big part. What else then? Bagsy. So Bagsy had this idea that we were going to drive to Abu Dhabi in a London black taxi, which was just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Big shout out to Bagsy, because without him it wouldn't have happened, because he was the pushing force to get it over the line. And big thanks to Monster. Monster obviously footed the bill for our little trip and sorted us out, and that was
little
amazing.
Trip.
Yeah, it took us, I think, 11.
You were away for 2 weeks.
But it's just...
lifetime memories made there.
Yeah, like everything, when you go on a road trip, it's amazing. But then when you sort of like go the further you have to go, the sort of... Basically, if we took a road trip to Germany and back now, it would be nothing.
Yeah.
To go through, Bulgaria, Bosnia, Turkey, Iraq. Well, Iraq was just mind-blowing. Absolutely.
All of it was mind-blowing.
Unfortunately, we did get ad restricted on that. So basically, they sort of... YouTube don't want to see bad things, because obviously it's not great to promote. Sponsors don't want to be a part of that. And we put a bit of the war in the video, sort of showing, this is what happened in the past. Only a split second. and it got ad restricted because of that, which was really frustrating. Because I think, what's the video on, Reece? Probably 500,000.
400k.
Thing is,
400K.
as well, it's out there. Everybody knows it's happened.
It's difficult. Like, it doesn't really make sense that it would be like, we weren't showing people how to do it. We just showed a clip off ITN News.
Yeah.
So that was frustrating because I think that would have been like a 1 million view video. So, but yeah, thanks to Bagsy. Get to see Bagsy this weekend. He's going to be the Formula One.
We do.
So-
But if you're listening and you're watching this now and you haven't watched that vlog, watch it, because the most ironic thing about it is the taxi made it all the way to Iraq but broke down half an hour away from home.
That thing was...
And you spent half a day at a garage over Oxford Way
Before
you'd even started, getting it shipshape, and off you went, and it survived.
The funny thing is about Reece had told us about this, but basically Bagsy kept on saying, have you changed the wheel bearings? And I was thinking, oh, well, I've never heard of a wheel bearing going. I've never heard of a wheel bearing.
Pardon?
What?
Wheel bearings?
Yeah.
Okay. Didn't the wheel bearings always used to go in the buggy?
No.
Well, what was it that always used to go in the buggy?
Drive shafts.
No. When we went to Europe and the thingy bobs collapsed, what was it?
Rose joints.
Oh, close.
Yeah, very close.
Bearings.
Within a metre on a car.
Same but different.
So yeah, Bagsy was like, changed it. And I was thinking, well, that's another 60 quid. I was wasting £60. And then when we were like, it was pitch black and we were stuck at, and then Yam came and saved the day. And then we went to Rice Slip Tyres and they were amazing. But we got to our first destination at 5 o'clock in the morning in Germany. We drove all the way from Germany to Germany, stopped for fish and chips on the way there. Oh, it was just an absolute disaster of the first night. And stopped in a hotel, and then they just...
But also class.
Yeah, it was definitely sort of like, it started off on the bad foot, and it made it entertaining as well.
But it was even more entertaining because you thought, because you were going through Turkey and everything, put my shorts and T-shirt in.
Thought might get a cheeky hour on the beach.
Why me and Senna are in our nice, comfortable, warm house.
Oh my God. I had, it was that cold. I had every T-shirt I took on the first day because I had no idea it was that cold. Me and Reece didn't have a coat. Bagsy did no moaning about the weather, and he had this old snap-on coat on. When we were in Abu Dhabi, I moved the coat because it was on the seat. Oh my! It needed 2 hands. It was so thick and heavy.
Really?
No wonder he hadn't moaned. He was in this this thing. It was like a 50-tog duvet.
But again, that's like in another 10, 15 years' time, thinking back about it, like when Senna starts asking questions, like how proud's she going to be that her dad drove through Turkey, through Iraq, went across the border, like by Syria, stood where that certain statue was.
Oh, it was amazing. Even just like them playing music over... You see these war films and you hear this music playing over and, on the speakers and stuff. And it's very, very eerie, and seeing the military everywhere. And like the first military stop we stopped at, like they were holding something and they pushed us across, pointed it at us and told us to get out of the taxi. And I'm thinking...
What was it, a water divider?
And I'm thinking, this isn't good. Like this really, really isn't good. And sort of like he asked to see our passports. I'm thinking, I'm never going to see them again. Never probably going to see you lot again. Like it was just, it was petrifying, wasn't it, Reece?
We took a few grand bribe money, didn't we?
We took bribe money because we thought, we took American dollars as bribe money because we just assumed that's how the world works in those situations, because it was like that when I went to India. And I remember he looked at us and he said, what are you doing? We told him and he went, welcome. That's what he said. And then he insisted we sat there and ate food and drink with him. And this was the colonel. And we pulled out of there and it was just so special. It was like, oh my God. But
you said the people couldn't have been any more warming or welcoming.
Kurdistan.
There was no hostility, was there?
Kurdistan, the people in Kurdistan, which is like the sort of the warmer up to Iraq.
Is that where Borat's from?
I think it was, wasn't it?
Or is that Kazakhstan?
Kazakhstan, yeah, totally different.
Close.
And Borat isn't actually a person. So we sort of that was yeah, anyway, the whole thing was amazing, and the Formula One was amazing. So, like, didn't think I'd ever get to go Formula One again, and we're going this weekend, which is very, very special.
Question from Free Running. What's the best car-related memory?
Car-related memory. I'd say
I'm going now.
we're going to be about 20 minutes, mate. Okay, same to... She doesn't understand time, so from home to school. From home to school, that amount of time. That's how we have to work everything. I'd say the SVJ and Gumball.
Yeah, I've got so many. The problem is half of mine I can't say on camera or with having a microphone in front of my mouth.
Going
But
about back seats.
no. We've got ourselves into some situations.
Haven't we?
We? You know that. And I'm not talking backseat action. I'm just talking down outright stupidity.
Yes, there's been a lot of moments where you think that probably wasn't the best idea we've ever had.
No, but then we've got back home and we've laughed about it afterwards, haven't we?
Yeah. Woody and the dog. Woody, that was one of the best.
We were racing in Europe. We took our dog. Our dog didn't have the correct dog passport. And when I get nervous, I start chatting.
Oh, the stress. So basically, you've got to have a passport for a dog. I'll make this short and sweet. Got to have a passport for a dog.
And they have to be...
So we did the passport, didn't we, over here?
Yeah.
So, like, usually Mark would try and blag a passport or get somebody else's passport.
No, you
or
wouldn't blag. You're a law-abiding citizen.
stuff like that. I like to beat the system, save a bit of money. So we went and got him, like, wormed and stuff like that. So we go over there. We're only over there for, like...
A weekend. A bank holiday weekend.
We came back early because we'd broke.
Yes.
I set on fire.
And there was a massive football match going on in Calais, if you remember.
It was the semi-final of the World Cup.
Right.
And I'd been on fire. The buggy in the back was burnt.
There's
So was
loads of people crossing in boats, living in tents
Trying
and
to get
walking
across.
around.
There was a
and
lot of stuff going on. It was very, very, like, it was just, there was a lot which went wrong that weekend. So we get to the man at the ferry, and the French guy, and he was like, passport for the dog. I was like, yep. I am legit. For once in my life, I am legit. Pass him the passport, and he's like, no. The stamp. And I'm like, yeah, it's good. We've done this. And he's like, no. Anyway, we had to have a stamp, 48, he had to have a worming tablet 48 hours before we left. It was now 50 hours or something like that, so we were out of date. So then he was like, so I tried to blag it, didn't I? And arguing with everybody, wouldn't let it have it. So then we find, bearing in mind it's now a Sunday night, it's a semi-final of the World Cup, and it's a bank holiday.
Yeah.
So we've managed to find...
He basically turned us away and told us we've got to come back in 48 hours.
48 hours.
Once the dog has been wormed.
So even when Woody had the worming tablet, he can't travel till 24 hours after he's had the tablet.
Yep.
So now we've got to be at work on Monday. Like, it's getting into, like, the mess is getting bigger. So then he tells about this vet. So we're looking through, like, nobody speaks English. Our fault, not theirs. And eventually we found this vet. So we go to him.
Who's in Dunkirk.
Dunkirk. We're doing as fast as that thing would go with a trailer on the back. Get to Dunkirk. He doesn't even give the dog the tablet.
No, he just took the €50.
Took the €50.
Stamped his didgeridoo.
The day before.
Yeah.
So that we're now 24 hours after this worming tablet. This is how corrupt this guy was. He just wanted the money. So he said, when do you want it stamped? So we just wanted to get back. So we get back to the men in the
Passport control.
Passport control. There's, like, as you know, there's
different
15
booths,
of them.
isn't there?
There's loads of them. So obviously we've seen Matey on booth number 3.
Yeah.
And now we're coming back with a fakely stamped dog passport.
Yeah.
So obviously now we are going to go.
But we're laughing because, like, we'd bombed it back. We'd got about 15 minutes to spare before our ferry left. So we were laughing because we knew we were getting on that boat. We were going home.
The only thing we had to do was not go to the same man.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Don't go to the same man. So we know mate is over there, so we're trying to, hopefully he doesn't recognise the camper, go to, like, instead of station number 3 or station number 16, who was there? Same man. for some reason, he'd obviously moved across and he was in the same thing. So he's like, "You okay?" And I'm like, "Oh my God."
Well, he's to my left. You're
I'm-
talking across me.
You don't shut up.
I'll
talking
go
about-
into meltdown because I'm panicking.
So she's like going, "Oh,
Look at the clock.
Like, oh, how many cranes do you have here in this establishment, Port?" You know, like how many vehicles pattern? I'm thinking, oh my God. So I'm thinking the dogs are going to get put down. The vet's going to get struck off. I'm going to be put in prison. Like all these things. And he went, "Oh, I looked at the passport," and he said, "All good." And we like, and do you remember what we did to celebrate?
We went straight up to the expensive restaurant and had steak.
Because we're alive. So yeah, good story. Question?
Question by Oscar Mills: are you going Goodwood?
Yes, is the answer. Unfortunately, not driving a car. But
Well, we're driving a car to get to Goodwood,
there.
but you're not taking anything to display, are you, this
no,
year?
which is a bit of a shame. But we'll be going Friday and Saturday, and I'd say if you're there, we'll meet up. But if you've ever been to Goodwood, you'll know that there's hundreds of thousands of people, and the chances of bumping into anybody are minute. But we absolutely love Goodwood. Massive part of our year, Goodwood, isn't it? So we stop in a Premier Inn not far away, don't we? So we're like down there nice and early. So
Well, but we're not because somebody forgot to book the hotels again.
what are we in then?
The other one.
Travelodge. Travelodge is now Premier Inn.
No, anyway.
So yeah, right. Next bit, we'll have to better go quick, right, mate?
See you next Tuesday. 6
No,
p.m.
not yet. Don't get him turning off. Not yet, mate. Harrods and the P1, obviously, massive part for us. You know, getting to a hypercar. Never thought I'd ever be in a position to buy a hypercar. From
Going to the
Harrods.
penthouse in Harrods
Mind blowing. What about when we have something to eat with
at the
Ollie?
Lebanese. It's beautiful.
Do you remember how much that salad was?
It's the best salad you've ever eaten.
£25 for a salad.
Tabbouleh.
£25.
It's nice tabbouleh.
I'd never had tabbouleh before, but I've had tabbouleh since.
Yeah, you
from
like
Marks and
tabbouleh now,
Spencer's.
don't you?
Splashing the cash. But yeah, that was amazing. Having the P1 was amazing. Going to Harrods, very, very special time. And the amount of people outside and people who knew who we were and stuff, that was very, very cool.
Okay,
2 minutes then.
2 minutes. 2 minutes and we'll do toilet break.
And then obviously Wheelmania. Do you want to just sit down then and just be quiet? So Wheelmania, they were amazing with the P1 wheels, which obviously everyone loved. Like Auto Sanctuary, like absolutely smashed it with the matte black wrap. Everybody loved that as well.
Wheelmania smashed it with the wheels.
Everybody like
As controversial as they are.
like it was just like everyone clubbed together. It was amazing. Right, we'll probably skip for a bit quicker now. Smart Track, Global Telemetrics, Joe, which has been sorted out by Mike and Gav. Like Joe, the video which we're going to do on repatriation of cars which have been stolen is next level. This man, Joe, he is. How would you explain Joe, Reese?
Interesting.
I'd go crazy. Like the man is just amazing man, and it was great to be in his company. And we're doing some great videos with him. Can't say too much because it is like again a bit dodge, but it's going to make some great contact. Supercar pageant. Got invited to that when we were racing last week, which was really, really cool.
Yeah, you were racing the Focus Cup last week, weren't you, up at Alton Park?
Big shout out to everyone from the Focus Cup.
Yeah, and it was
Great
the
people.
supercar pageant, and they invited you to do a quick Q&A. And again, like, thank you if you were there, because it was just
amazing.
absolutely mind-blowing at how many people came to sit down and listen to you rambling on. And
They were just like people. They were just like every question was lovely. All the people were lovely. We didn't have time to sign anything afterwards.
you didn't have time to sign anything afterwards because you literally had like 5 minutes before you needed to get back in the car and do your last race. But you came back into the pits from your last race And the amount of people that had taken time out to actually come over, see the Focus Cup, and then speak to you, again, was just mind blowing.
There was like 100 people stood there.
It was amazing.
It was just, that's the sort of bit which blows us away. And then like revved up, did this show at Santa Pod again. Thank you, Jamie. Like absolutely brilliant show. And we did a meet and greet, which obviously I worry about because like I don't want no one to be there, and it's like a bit embarrassing if like nobody turns up. And like my half-hour meet and greet took till like what do you reckon, hour and a half?
It was
2 hours.
Yeah.
The queue was like, I looked at the queue and I thought, like whoever you are, I would not be bothered to wait in that queue.
I've never waited to get anybody's signature or a photo.
But I don't do queues anyway, do I? Like
No.
I pull up at a petrol station, I'd rather run out of fuel than wait in a queue. So that was like an amazing time. So basically, YouTube has been amazing to us so far, and I feel like our journey is only just started. And thank you for everyone who is a part of that. And God, makes me go for mate. Thank you everyone for supporting us and being a part of us and sort of like subscribing. And all we need to do is everyone who watches our next video, if they did subscribe, we'd be on 1 million subs and we'd have a different plaque.
So, yeah. So, like, subscribe. It's
All
like
that sort of
whenever
stuff.
I'm looking on Instagram, I always forget to like.
Yeah,
You just get caught up in the moment and you forget to like.
but thank you to everyone for all the support over the years, because it has been years now, and your support only gets bigger and better.
Doesn't feel like it though,
I
does
know
it?
it doesn't. But like we've got a great team, and everybody enjoys it, and it's not just special for us. You know, I know that the other guys, like two of them here and Matt, you know, although they're not behind the camera, they enjoy the benefits as well, and you know the places we go and the people we meet. So thanks to you lot. So
Yeah.
big up yourselves.
Absolutely.
Big high five.
Absolutely.
Whoa, whoa.
Great Thursday night action.
The right Thursday night action. We're gonna have an extension.
No.
Right. Looks like it's all. Damn. Tried my best. I'll do the vacuuming tomorrow.
Okay.
Right. Thank you, everyone. And hopefully, we're doing it next Thursday, Reese?
Next Thursday.
We're going to go next Thursday as well. And don't forget, we've got a new video out on Tuesday all about the KTM, which is amazing. And it sounds like we're being paid by KTM, but we're not. It's just, it's
Senna.
amazing. Absolutely
Senna.
amazing.
Senna.
So, yeah, thank you. And hopefully, you'll enjoy that video.